Every week on this channel, I am sharing some of my outlandish opinions on who I think should win challenges. Sometimes those are completely based off of my own perspectives of the challenge, and sometimes that is based on what I am seeing being edited out of TV and when I know some of the drag competitors are capable of doing. And because I'm always sharing my opinions on wild takes on who should win some challenges and who I think should be in the bottom, I wanted to open it up to y'all to be able to share some of your maybe outlandish takes on maybe opinions where someone should have won. And so today I will be reacting to those on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being completely agree, 5 being more neutral, and 10 being that is crazy. I promise not to be mean in this video, so I'm not going to roast or read anybody severely or heavily. This was done on my post page, so if you ever see me posting on there and you would like to be featured in one of these videos whenever I do it next, make sure you engage there so that your comments can be seen in a future video. Before we get into it, I just want to say thank you all so much for 3,000 subscribers here on this YouTube page. I was not expecting us to get here where we have. It feels like literally just the other day I was saying thank you for 2,000 subs. So thank you for 3,000. This is huge and I appreciate it so much, all of you coming in and tuning in to hear my opinions and sharing your thoughts as well and being respectful. And I look forward to making even more content and more videos and sharing more opinions with y'all. Let's get into this. We'll just start here. Raja should have been in the top 2 for All Stars 7 talent show over Shay. If anyone saw my All Stars 7 video where I talked about how I thought Raja dominated that season, you already know my opinion. I completely 100% agree with this take. I think that Raja dog walked that competition in every sense of the word. I think that Shay was great, and I agree with this. I think her song was wonderful, but Raja provided something that was cultural and important and special. I really like what Raja did, and I think that she should have won that challenge. But I think if she did, they wouldn't have been able to crown both her and Jinx. So it would have been difficult. I feel like they probably wanted to give Raja some type of prize, and she already had hers as was the best thing that they could offer her since they overlooked her so much in the competition. The second one from this commenter was Carrie should have been in the top 2 for Star Booty the Rebooty over Georges. Georges did a good job and her vocals were okay, but her actual performance was very Georges. I didn't get much of the character she was supposed to be from it. I would say I agree. I wouldn't put it quite at number 1. I would put it somewhere around like 2 or 3. Goth Design Challenge was for Nymphia or Dawn. I definitely think that the challenge called more for what Dawn's type of drag was, and so I could see that. I'm gonna put this at a 2. I think Nymphia definitely stormed that particular challenge, and I do remember being confused, and I was confused why she didn't win that one. So I put it at a 2 because I mostly agree. Yeah. Candy should have won the All Stars 8 RuPaul's Drag Race Live Challenge. I will put that probably at like an 8 on this scale, and that is because a lot of contestants have come forward and said that Candy got a reshoot where a lot of them only got 1 take. I think there is something to say about why that happened. If you want my outlandish opinion on that, I thought that was Jessica's week, or even Kasha's. There have been times where Ginger Minj did a knockout performance in the challenge and then was so mid on the runway and still got a challenge win, and I think that could have been Kasha's week, despite her Net Gala being like, you know. The first Rusical of season 10 should have gone to Cameron. Vixen was the team leader, but I thought Cameron had the best individual performance. I will put this at 2 or 3. Farmer Rusical is kind of a terrible Rusical prompt in general, and I tried to block out that it was there. I think it could have been great for an acting challenge, just based off of what the premise was. I do remember Cameron being really good. Okay, I had to watch a little performance of it to remember. I agree that it should not have been Vixen, so I'm gonna put this at like 3. I think that week could have been Dusty's as well, because I remember that runway was it. But I do think that Cameron was solid, so I agree with you on the it should have been someone else part. I think Honey actually deserved to win the lip sync untucked of season 5. I think that she was hilarious as Mystique, and I would give the win of the first design challenge to Linnea. 100% definitely absolutely agree with Linnea winning challenge 1. I think Honey was really good in that lip sync challenge, but I also think Coco was really good too. I think it could have gone to someone else. That random consolation win to Lanesha was a little out of pocket. It almost comes across like they recognize that they should have given it to her week 1 and they just threw a bone at her like, sorry, here you go. In season 15 remix, originally it was Sasha, but I would give it to Lux. Lux had much better vocals. She sung and rapped. You could tell Lux is a lyricist. In the challenge, you could tell because, I mean, look at her album NEPs. 1, absolutely 100% agree. I did think it should have gone to Lux that week. I was gagged at the time. I remember listening to her voice and thinking, whoa, that's something special. Okay, so we have a couple here. I would have given the ball win in season 8 to Chi Chi. She hadn't done well in the season's previous design challenges, so what she put together was a pleasant surprise. A few seasons earlier, they rewarded a door for the same thing at top 5. Absolutely agree. I think that Chi Chi was super solid in that challenge. I think that Kim was also really good, so it's kind of tough to figure out who you want to give a win to. Especially on the producer's side, they probably already knew that Chi Chi wasn't going to go to the finale, so it made more sense to give another win to Kim to make her seem like a more viable opponent for Bob. But I do think it could have been Chi Chi's win. I personally would have put Naomi Smalls in the top 2 for All Stars for girl groups. Love her verse, think she performed it perfectly, and looking at things retroactively, her only getting 1 win that season was criminal. Yes, she definitely deserved a very high placement. I don't know who I would replace her with, Valentina or Monet. Maybe Monet, only because that lip syncing outfit was terrible. So I think you might be onto something here. I'm gonna put that at 2. Jackie Cox could have won Snatch Game on season 12. Her Lisa Rinna was fantastic. Yes. Also, Jackie Cox could have left that season with like 3 wins. I think that she also could have won perhaps Gay's Anatomy. Deja Sky should have left season 14 with 3 wins. I don't think Snatch Game is really debatable, and a lot of people seem to agree that she should have won the panel challenge, but I also maintain she should have won Super Tease. I will give you Super Tease. I agree on that one. Panel, I definitely think she was very strong and could have won that one. So I'll put that at a 2. For Snatch Game, maybe I'm just like crazy, but I thought that there were some funny performances. I would have personally, I thought that Willow was funny. I thought that Willow was hilarious in that Snatch Game. I hear what you're saying. I think she definitely could have won Super Tease. And she also was pretty solid in Daytona Wins. Kind of different take on your question, but I don't think Kennedy deserved to tie with Ginger for Snatch Game season 7. Whoa, hold on, I almost choked on my Celsius. I might put that at slightly outlandish. She was praised for things that other queens are read for. She just repeated the same thing over and over. It was funny the first 2 times, then it got old, honestly. I'm leaning more towards neutral now. I hear what you're saying. I do agree. A lot of times when people do the same thing again and again, they get very heavily read. Pearl was better. I had a rough childhood. Wasn't watching fucking Batman and Robin is still funny. Okay. I do quote that all the time. I had a rough childhood, okay? Her Big Ange was inspired. You chewed. I personally think that Kennedy's Little Richard was such a departure from what we understand of Snatch Game, where most people were always doing femme characters. So Kennedy opening up the door for people that were not just female illusion, I think was important for the evolution of Snatch Game. And so I think her win, in my opinion, is strong and high. I think where Pearl falls short is literally on the runway, but I think that Ginger also fell short on the runway. I'm gonna give you a solid 5. Nooch. Very nooch on this. I see what you say. I hold space for that with the tips of my fingers. I see you. We see each other. Mr. should have won the season 15 ball. Hold on, let me look at these looks again. Cause Sasha won that one, right? The crystal ball, that's right. They had to do the start your engines and then their favorite ball look and then the crystallized. Lux is really good. I love her hairball look. And then her crystallized look is really good. I would put her high. Ugh, God, Malaysia's package is awful. Marsha's is super fun. I forgot that Marsha had a really great package that week. I like Mistress's Start Your Engines and I like her crystallized look. I'm not a fan of Ball Ball. That's right, okay, this was Sasha's and I remember not liking the crystallized look. I thought it was just a piece of fabric as the skirt. Okay. I will give you points for Mistress on the crystallized look and Start Your Engines. But I also think that Lux chewed. So I'm gonna give you a 3. I partially agree with you. I think the winner could have been somebody else. Monique's card look on season 10 won. That should have won that initial challenge. All culture dances and talent shows, also highly agree. 2. Well, 1. Well, I think June's was a little crunchy. I thought Irene's water talent show was amazing and funny. She played with awkward silence. I will give you a neutral on that. I think the concept would be really good in a nightclub. I think if you had some solid, good 50s style game show music playing in the background while a drag queen is fingering a cup of ice water, that could be so funny in a nightclub, but I just don't think it translates well to TV. The interview challenge on season 15, I know Sasha won, but when I watched it, I honestly thought Lux or Lucy was gonna win. I agree with you on that. I'm gonna give you a 1. Damn, I was hoping for at least 1 that I would be like, no, 10. I think I can get into most of these and I can hold space for most of these. There was one about UK6 that I personally have not perceived, so I don't feel comfortable talking about it just because I have no context for that season outside of episode 1, which I think I watched, and then Canada was on at the same time and Dragula was on at the same time, so I was focused more on those than I was on UK, so I missed out on UK6, but I will watch it eventually. Thank you for sharing your opinions. I didn't think any of these were far too outlandish. Oh, and I don't know why this needs to be said, but please be kind in the comments towards anyone who put themselves out there and shared their opinion. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see y'all on the flip.